Welcome everybody to IMAGI-NATION TV for our Friday episode with the artists as we round out the week on hope. And what a week it's been. We caught up on Monday with Stan Grant, who challenged us to be cautious, to use caution when we think about hope, to think about the power of hope. And then at the same time, talked about an idea of radical hope. So that was a real brain buster, to use caution and then think about how you can use it radically. We had Daisy Jeffrey, who's helped lead the student strike marches in Australia, join us on Monday as well. And Daisy spoke about how hope without action maybe doesn't have the same power as anything except hope. The word needs action to be good, basically, is what Daisy said. All right, on Tuesday, we had the youngsters come together and they gave some speeches as the president of IMAGI-NATION. And then we had our Chaos Classroom, which was brilliant. And then we kickstarted our first ever Being Brave in the Times of COVID-19. And we had a wonderful video diary entry from a youngster in India, and we're sending a challenge out to all school kids around the world right now to send us in your video diary entries as to how you're being brave in the times of COVID-19 so we can share it and share that collective resilience all around the world. Thank you for stepping up and being hopeful with us. Thank you to our designers on Wednesday, to Jonathan Zawada, who joined us, and to Jacuzzi, and to our wonderful designers who came together to work through some complex ideas. It was a phenomenal show. And yesterday we had Damon Gameau, who rounded out the week with just a serious whack in the face of hope, talking about what the climate's going to look like in the future if we continue to act, talking about microgrids that are kickstarting with electricity being shared around South Australia as we speak, and speaking about bringing hope from the shadows so we're not consumed by mainstream media all the time and being brought down by this relentless negativity. And on that, I think when we think about the media and we think about who controls information, it's important for us to not just settle for what's been established. Rupert Murdoch, he bought a tiny paper in South Australia. And yes, he now owns a media empire, but we choose to engage with that press. We choose to engage with major forms of media. We choose our diet in terms of what we can eat and what we put into our minds. And I think as we think about what it looks like and what our digital diet's going to be, what our media diet's going to be, it's important for people to rise to that center space in the gray space, to talk about hope, to talk about complexity. And it's something we're trying to do every single day on IMAGI-NATION TV as we look to bring mentors into kids' lives every single day. So thank you for joining us for the show. And if you want to support the show to get out to 1 billion plus kids, head to aimmentoring.com and grab an IMAGI-NATION hoodie. And if you want to sponsor a song, you can also jump on aimmentoring.com and kick in a $100 donation. If you want to throw any questions throughout the show, I'd love to hear from you on the chat line. So chuck them in. And right now we're going to get into our artist challenge, which is a 25-minute challenge. We have two wonderful artists who are joining us today. So I'll throw to a short video and then we'll come back for that. Okay, we now have Sloane who's joined us and Monty for the artist challenge. Sloane, how you feeling?
Feeling very good. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Tell us what you're going to do today.
Today I am going to make a water pitcher, and with clay it's kind of difficult to show you a finished product in 25 minutes because there's lots of different stages between different firings and glazing. But I can show you the first process, and I can show you a finished piece right here. And so this is what it will come out to look like. And I think I chose a water pitcher, one, just for the technique that's being used. It's unique. You'll get to see me work with clay in a few different ways. And two, I chose a water pitcher because of the symbolism of water. I find that water is life, and water sustains existing life, and water creates new life. Villages were built around wells, and I think that kind of transfers over into the theme of hope. I think our communities right now need to think about sustaining life and businesses and sustaining communities of all, from all ages. And I think there's going to be, when this is over, there's going to be a time of birth where creativity and will be a really high priority and highly regarded. So I think that's something that is symbolized here with the water pitcher. And it also reminds me of community and sharing a meal. And so it's great that you have Monty here as well, because I look forward to being able to be around my friends and family again and share a meal with them.
It's a great chance for us to throw to Monty. Thanks, Sloane. Monty, tell us about your story and what you're going to do here today.
Thanks, buddy. Well, it's an honour to be here. What a great initiative this is, and I think it's real testament to what the human being's capable of when times are tough. We're over in LA. We've just moved here chasing what looks like it's going to be an amazing project that we're opening here with my wife and kids. Before that, we were in Sydney, and we hail from New South Wales. Me from around Byron Bay and my wife from Lord Howe Island. I grew up with an artist father, a visual artist father and lecturer, and he was sixth generation artist. So I love being grouped in with artists with what I do, even though most of what I do doesn't feel like producing art, because the sort of the ops side of restaurants and kitchens can really dwarf the creativity a lot of the time. So it's great to be a part of this type of community and to really hone in on the art side. I was lucky enough to meet Sloane today, and he hooked me up with a few of his pieces. So I'm going to be able to plate on them today.
Very cool.
And we actually we didn't pre-rehearse this, but my message of hope through food, the most obvious one and the clearest one and the best metaphor for hope in food, I think, is fish. You can get sun and warmth and soil, and you can be pretty certain the seed's going to turn into a plant. You can grow a crop, and you can feed a small animal and be pretty certain it's going to grow into a big one that can provide food. But fishing is all about throwing it into the biggest mass on the planet, which is the ocean, and hoping that the right fish comes along. But it's also, being here with my kids and watching their reality. They're 6 and 7, and their reality living through this is so different than adults trying to care for kids. And you think about how best you can look after our youth and our families, and that idea of teaching someone to fish and the power it gives them, it doesn't need to be in a rural setting. It doesn't need to be tribal. It can be a metaphor for everything that we need to do for our youth, which is empower them and allow them to go out and do things for themselves. So I'm doing a little fish salad, which I always travel with as well, because it can go anywhere. I'm using a plum. You can use a kiwi fruit or a mango. You could use citrus. You could use jackfruit, guava, wherever you are. We've got beautiful radishes. Anything crunchy is good. I like radish. These are beautiful purple ones. You can use daikon. Cucumber, again, juicy, crunchy. Another one of Sloane's great bowls has got a nice piece of tuna. Now, if you're not hoping to catch tuna, you should when you go fishing, because it's incredible. And I'm not cooking it. I'm just going to be dicing it. And all throughout the world, there's fish salads. And this is an interpretation which uses what's best around, is completely raw. But the guest has to mix it themselves. So for the chef, there's also hope that once the guest mixes, that you've seasoned it right and it tastes bang on.
Oh, very
cool. Drawing as well, maybe. I'll try and do a drawing.
Yeah, that doesn't sound complex enough, so definitely do the drawing challenge as well. Monty, thank you for joining us. Sloane, thank you for joining us. I think about, the power of water and the power of teaching someone to fish, that analogy of both of those huge sweets. Hey, you go out to this huge thing called the ocean, and then with your tiny little skill set, you maybe try and survive by throwing a line in there. That's what art is in my mind. It's using what our hands can do, what's within our immediate space. And last week we had one of the guests challenge, I think Derek is actually on the chat line today, challenge the audience to use something in your home and think about it in a very different way than you've ever thought about it, and reinvent that object and create a new world and a new story out of it. So I think that's what we get to do today. So you guys, off you go. Your 25-minute challenge has started. I look forward to checking in with you in between thingers, and some comments coming in from the chat line. Nick Johns, great to have you here, and the SVA crew watching. I'm glad you're watching with your daughter, and thank you to the SVA family for helping support AIM so early on in 2009, as we were working with about 600 kids there in one state, and now we've grown to be working with six with kids across 6 different countries. Close to 8,000 kids this year physically we're going to be working with, and now we've pivoted to Imagination TV to try and provide support to every single kid who's been affected by this, the 1.37 billion kids around the world. So thanks for stopping by, Nick. Tani Holmes, I'm glad you love pottery. I'm sure Sloane would love to hear that, and you've been at the wheel all week. Unreal. So we're going to have a good engaged critiquer coming through. And to kickstart us now, we're going to go in and meet one of our musicians who's going to sing a song for us. Tamahau, have I got you there?
G'day, how are you?
Good, brother. How you feeling?
Yeah, not bad at all.
Hey, what's hope mean to you?
Well, can you hear me all right?
Yeah, I got you.
For me, hope means a lot of things. I've personally used it as a sort of fuel of sorts throughout the years to, pursue music with everything I have. It's a big task and it's a big risk to ask someone to try and really make a life and a living out of arts and creative industries. And I felt personally hope has been a massive tool for me and a massive part of my journey.
Well, let's give you the chance to throw yourself in the deep end now, and really looking forward to hearing you sing. And thanks so much for giving us some hope and bringing us all together in this time with your music. Over to you, brother.
Thank you so much. With all in a wishing well, I made a promise to myself. It was something only time could tell. So for now I put it on the shelf. Every day it grew a little older, and I could feel my heart getting colder. But I remember what my mama told me. If it's worth it, it won't be easy. Like it won't be easy, baby, believe me. You got to know you're right inside. Don't stop for no one. You got to hold on. Don't let the darkness take your life. If you get lost, I'll be the light that guides you. If ever you fall, I'ma be right beside you. Wherever you walk, carry my love inside you. So if you get lost, I remember when my luck was down. I was searching for a way out. I never thought that I would come this close to the edge of it, but I suppose it was all a part of getting older. All that struggle just made me bolder. Now I'm walking tall like a soldier. Don't forget about what I told you. It won't be easy, baby, believe me. You've got to know you're right inside. Don't start for no one. You've got to hold on. Don't let the darkness take your life. If you get lost, I'll be the light that guides you. If ever you fall, I'ma be right beside you. Wherever you walk, carry my love inside you. So if you get lost, if you get lost, if you get lost, I'll be the light that guides you. If ever you fall, I'ma be right beside you. Wherever you walk, carry my love inside you. So if you get lost, if you get lost, Thanks, guys.
Oh, brother, thank you. Yeah, we've got Elana Stone, who's about to perform, is here, so we can give you the two-person round of applause. But I can tell you that on the chat line, you've got, such a good voice from Marley Zeta, beautiful from Tom Wensley. Kat Pirelli said, wow, that voice. Nick Johns, Georgie says, love his song. Atlanta Lloyd, I love this song, with 2 emoji love hearts. That's like 4 love heart eyeballs coming your way right now.
Thank you all so much. I really appreciate it. It's been a privilege to be a part of this.
Brad, pleasure. And thanks for bringing hope to all of our lives and joining us today. Our next artist who's going to jump on the show is technically my sister-in-law, and lives downstairs, and which is next to where this shoots out of. Hey, Lance.
I've got a little step ladder so I can see you.
You
can see me.
Slightly different heights, aren't we?
Yes.
How you feeling, Elana? What have you got in store today?
I'm very excited. I love this show, so I've been watching it, and I just think it's a really important, beautiful thing that you guys are doing. And I think at this time when kids are stuck at home and there's not a clear schedule sometimes, this is a really important thing to be putting out in the world. So I feel very privileged to be on here and to be in your bubble.
Well, I enjoy sharing the collective bubble of social isolation with you, and it's great having an extra babysitter and a wonderful musician and your partner
Babysitter
Joel,
first.
Lani, over to you.
Okay. Well, I had to think about what I wanted to play today, and I have a song that's on the ukulele, which is really quite portable, which is fun. And it's about hope in the sense that it's called Bring Down Those Walls. And I thought at this time of social isolation, when we are trying to hide ourselves away in order to protect the vulnerable in our community, it's really important to reach out and connect with people on the phone, or however you do that without actually seeing them in person. And that's sometimes hard. Like, you get stuck in your little world and you think, I'm nervous. I'm nervous to chat to my friends, but I don't know if you feel like that. Sometimes I get nervous. But it's really good to give them a call and make sure that you're still connecting with the world. I think this show is doing that beautifully. So this is a song called Bring Down Those Walls, and I wrote it, and enjoy. Hopefully you will.
Feel your pain. I see you trying, darling, again and again. Does it help to know that I'm hurting too? Do you believe that I want what's best for you? You gotta bring down those walls.
Oh, hi, Asterix.
Gotta bring down those walls. You gotta bring down those walls tonight. How can I love you, baby? You're pushing me away. How can I hold you, darling, if you won't stay? Is there anything I can do for you? I'd make the planets stand still if you want them to. You gotta bring down those walls. You gotta bring down those walls. You gotta bring down those walls. Yeah. Tonight. Bye, Gloria. Baby, you've got the chance. At last so unkind. You gotta bring down those walls. You gotta bring down those walls. You gotta bring down those walls tonight. You doing great, Lance.
She did it. Thanks. Thank you, everyone. That was really fun. Thanks, Hope and Blue and Asterix, who joined me as backup singers and dancers.
Hey, Lani.
Oh, hey, Jack. How's
Did
it
a
going?
great job. That was fantastic.
Thanks.
We've got some great comments. We got Shivers Up My Spine from Will Wensley.
Ooh, Will Wensley.
What do you read? You want to read the next one?
Oh, yeah. Will Wensley. Shivers Up My Spine. Gabrielle Vogues. Loving the music. Robbie Miller.
What a falsetto.
Knows his vocal
Boom.
stuff. I can't stop getting goosebumps.
Hareen Utah. Can't stop getting goosebumps. Oh. Dan Single, I see you, Monty, drawing too, multi-talent. So there's some love coming all across. Lance, thanks for dropping in and being a part of the show.
Thanks,
You're a champion.
Jack. Thanks, guys.
We've got an initiative that we're doing as part of this show on a Friday where we're sponsoring a song for every one of the artists that comes on and just throwing $100. As many of us know, almost every festival and all the gigs have been cancelled at the current moment around the world. So to try and support our artists keeping on going, we're going to throw $100 their way. So if you want to sponsor a song, you can chuck into the chat line, I will sponsor a song, and then head to aimmentoring.com and throw in $100 to support these artists to keep going as they keep bringing us hope. Hey, Monty, how you going? What's the latest?
I chopped up my tuna. Now, what we do, if you can just see here, is I press the tuna in, and I haven't dressed it, and there's a little knob of ginger there. And then I've got it my cucumber and my radish and my plum. Now, because I use a little bit of watercolor and ink, I've then had to stop, and I'm just starting a bit of a seascape with a hook and a hopeful fish. And then I'll come back and I'll finish dressing this, and then hopefully I'll be done in time.
Beautiful. Thanks, Monty. Sloane, how are you going?
I'm going pretty good. I realize I'm a little bit faster than I thought.
There you go, ninja.
So I've got some just some finishing touches, and then I will at the end I'll put the spout in, and then that's kind of the last step I can do with the clay at this texture. So again, clay works at a different time schedule than most things, but I'm glad you can kind of see the start, and then you see the end.
Is there a particular reason why you like working with that different time schedule that clay gives to you?
Man, yeah, I mean, the whole process of clay is pretty much slower. So I'm a ceramic artist and like a music director and a DJ. So one half of my work is very fast paced and very external. And then the other part being the clay, where I'm very much by myself and very introverted. And I love that duality that I get between both of them. And with the clay, it's at its own schedule. And so I kind of like not being able to rush things. You can only go work as fast as the material permits. So it's a nice slowdown for me.
Yeah, very cool. Have you guys been enjoying the music so far?
Man, epic.
Yeah. Nice, hey? It was so cool thinking how they, the music's kind of going into your creations as these guys are making at the same time. We've kind of got this cross-world collaboration happening at the same time. It's really beautiful. The next artist we've got joining us is Shellie Morris. Shellie, have we got you there? Can you hear us?
Can you hear me?
Gotcha. Yeah, we had
Hi.
some. Hello, how are you?
I'm good.
Thank you for joining us. We've had your music in our house since I was born, and just always playing. And the what you've done with telling stories and providing hope to so many people has been a monstrous, unbelievable effort. So thank you so much for everything you've done so far in your life and how you've told stories for so many of us.
Yeah, thanks so much also for having me on the show today, and I'm pretty excited, and it's been a big journey, and especially now at this time it's a really big journey for all of us. Yeah.
What does hope mean to you, Shellie?
Look, to tell you the truth, I was really struggling to find hope in the first week of the realisation. But what hope meant for me was watching the sunrise and feeling the breeze. And that brought a real sense of a new day. As the dawn was breaking, it was a new day for me. So that's pretty exciting. So every time, the sun comes up, and in our culture, I'm a Yanyuwa and Warama woman from the Northern Territory, that every day the birds sing and the country comes alive as soon as the sun is there in her full form. And she is my most senior grandfather's sister as an ancestor. So that's pretty special to me.
Yeah, unbelievable. So powerful. Thank you, Shellie, for joining us. The stage is all yours. Thanks for being a part of Imagination TV and bringing hope to so many kids around the world. Can't wait to hear you sing.
First of all, hi everyone. And this is my little crib, and I'm currently living in Brisbane at the moment, but from the top of Australia. And yeah, really missing family and missing hugs. And so this was a song that kind of made this moment a little bit lighter for me. Thanks. I haven't got a name for it yet either. So there you go. Wanting to fly away, I think I'll have to stay. Wanting to run and hide, where will I go anyway? Stop for a while, watching the sunrise, feeling the breeze, always makes me smile. Don't matter where you're from, we all under the one sun, surrounded by my daydreams, waters and clear streams. I'll stop for a while, watching the sunrise, feeling the breeze, always makes me smile. Yeah. Oh, yeah, low. Da, da. Yeah. Oh, sunrise. I'll stop for a while, watching the sunrise, feeling the breeze, always makes me smile.
Can't give you the chorus of a huge crowd, but I can promise you online that everyone's going off. We've got awesome show, guys, coming from Jonathan Harley. We've got Tom Winsley saying, Shellie Morris, what a privilege. Fiona Bailey wanted to send you a virtual hug, Shellie. I know it's not the same, but she's sending a hug to you. And Vicky said, Deadly Auntie Shellie, thank you for sharing your insight and gift of music. Thanks for making the time to connect with us and to reach out to all these kids that are in Australia and around the world trying to make sense of today and imagine what tomorrow can look like. So thank you so much, Auntie Shellie, for joining us.
Yeah, no worries. Hey, Jack, I have recorded it as well, and I'm just finishing the touches of it. And I would really love that to be able to be downloaded through your website. So if anybody would like the song.
Oh, great. Yeah, well, we'll send it out when you finish it up. One, thank you. That's awesome. What a beautiful gift. And we'll send it out to our mailing list. I think it's 110,000 people, and give them the link to be able to download it and, yeah, light up some people's hearts in these times. So thanks so much.
No, thank you so much, everybody.
All good. And we've got Will Wensley saying he's going to kick in $100 to help sponsor a song. Good on you, Will. Monty, Sloane, where are we at?
I'm pretty much as far as I can take it.
Okay, well, over to you. Let's show us what we've created. Give us a sense of of what work you've been doing, and talk us through it.
Well, what I've done is I've created the main body of the pitcher. So right now it's been thrown and the spout has been put in, and then from here it needs to dry about 24 hours, and from there I can add a handle that will be put on there, and then again it will dry for maybe 72 to 72 hours, maybe even 4 days, and then it goes into a kiln, which is basically a large oven. And it will get cooked to the first time, which is called a bisque firing, maybe about 1250 degrees Celsius. And it'll be in there for about 8 to 9 hours. And then it comes out, and then it gets dipped into a glaze, which is a mixture of compounds and elements that under high heat kind of become a glass-like surface, and what coats it and makes it usable, and also can add color and texture. And then that will get put into the kiln, the oven one more time, and get fired up to about 1400 degrees Celsius, again for about 10 to 12 hours. And then after that, it will be ready to use.
Very cool. Hey, can you humor me for a little bit and grab that camera and bring it a little bit closer so I can have a look at what you've got? What does it look like? What does a clay world look like up close?
Yeah, sure. It's pretty messy.
Yeah.
So you can see it's made here out of a red clay. This one is out of a porcelain.
Yep.
So you get it to be a little bit different in clay texture, in color, but you get the initial body. So then, this is here, and then it will be shaped by having it cut down and a handle put on to equal that silhouette.
Oh, very cool. Hey, thank you so much for joining us today and bringing, creatively inspiring people. I think Mark Zhang said, I need to up my creative productivity, and inspiring people at this time to create and use what skills we've got to use as a tool of resilience and get that energy out and embrace the solitary time. So thanks so much, Sloane, for being a part of the show today.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me.
My pleasure. Monty, how have we gone?
Well, we're good.
Give us a look.
This has reminded me what a good easy dish this is for people at home to try. You can pretty much put anything that you want in here in a chopped salad type form. I've chosen the tuna. I've added some little crispy seaweed snacks, which I haven't done anything to. They come out of a packet, but they're amazing for umami. A little bit of ginger, like I said, chives. Underneath these coriander flowers is a little bit of mayo, which will help bind it. Oh, I also need to get a little bit of wasabi.
Yes.
Because wasabi and tuna are good friends. Wasabi and ginger are good mates. And we're just going to plop it on now. If any kids out there want to get creative and cook for their family, all that I've done differently to this is I've used this mold, which is an egg ring, but we end up with quite a beautiful composed little picture. Then what you need your guests to do, or your family, when you set it down in front of them, is that you've got to ask them to actually make it ugly delicious. So they've got to actually finish the seasoning.
Ugly delicious is a beautiful idea.
I've used this a lot in restaurants, and like I said, whenever I go on tour and cook at festivals, I like to do this because you get to appreciate what's good. And you see the customers, as they're doing this, they'll end up exploring little bits and they'll start talking about it. They'll be like, oh, I just discovered this little pocket of ginger over here, and they'll start comparing notes, and they become the chef in a way. And then the chef's got to hope that it tastes as good as he planned, which is sort of fun.
Unreal. How did it go? Good? Happy?
Bang on.
And the drawing, what have we got? This is the big reveal. Whoa.
So I've been playing around with teaching my kids stuff, which means the watercolors come out. And I used to draw a lot when I was at school. I was that kid sitting in the back of history class doodling away, and I used to like the idea of designing T-shirts, and so drawing's my thing. And I got to this stage of teaching my kids, and I'm like, I shouldn't just keep drawing things that I'm familiar with. I should go out and challenge myself, because what's the worst that can happen? It's not what I wanted to have as my drawing, you know, like there's no real loser in that. And it put me on an even footing with my kid, who constantly has that feeling like they're not good enough at something. So we've been playing around with single line drawings. And when you commit to a single line, but you know you want to draw something, your brain goes into a different place, and there's a bit of excitement because you're like, oh shit, what am I going to do? I'm coming up to the end. Oh, that doesn't look like a leaf. Oh, well. So yeah, playing around with that. And like I said, a little fishy here. Let's hope that he takes the hook.
Yeah, very cool. Hey, thank you so much, Monty, for sharing with us, and beautiful idea to that ugly deliciousness, or ugly, having something that can be both, can look and feel one way and have a contrarian opposite, which matches together, is one so much a part of our brains. Like we just have so many different things fusing right and left all the time. And the other part, which I think is so beautiful, which you just spoke about, how the person eating it gets to discover the little bits when you mix it all up. This is currently a moment where the world's been mixed up, and we have a choice really, which is, are we going to choose to discover what the new world looks like when it's all mixed up and try and put the pieces back together, or are we going to just remember what the perfect image of what it looked like before? And if we cling to that forever, then we'll always be disappointed. We'll always be thinking about what could have been. But if we can look at that ugly deliciousness as it's been all mixed up and see all of the different bits and be an explorer and go wandering and have inquisition, that's when I think we have a chance to really find lots of beautiful discoveries as we head through this fascinating time of human life.
Word up. Thanks, guys. Well done, Sloane.
Well done, you two. Thank you to Sloane. Thank you to Monty. Thank you to Shellie, Elana Stone, Tamahau for joining us today. Tune in on Monday next week to see Wayne Blair and some other guests joining us for the Thinkers panel. We have a very special surprise coming your way next week, as we're trying to crack the code as to how we can help people with their rent. So it may have something to do with a hoodie, and it may have something to do with supporting people with their rent and seeing if we can set up some hoodie connectors around the world who might get a fee for every hoodie that they sell, so we can get this circular economy moving. Right now, we've got 2.5 million people struggling with rental support, just over 2 million people struggling with their rent in Australia alone, and trying to work out how we can provide that support around the world. So keep tuning in. We'll keep doing our best to come up with solutions to the problems we're facing, and know that we're all better together. I've loved the chat. Thanks to Gemma McMillan saying, reminds me of that Japanese sand art they spend ages designing, then they destroy it to show the impermanence of life. It's a beautiful idea. Derek Bland, disruptive cuisine, love it. VDB, keep drawing, Monty. Lots of love from the chat line. Lots of love to you all. Have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you on Monday for Imagination TV. Take care.